Anita Mendiratta is the founder of her firm for tourism and development, which is active from 2002 between London and all over the world, and works closely with leaders in governments, businesses, and international organizations in the tourism, aviation, and development sectors. Anita is globally trusted and respected as a strategic advisor and six-time published author. Why does she feel the heartbeat of societies, the economic, social, political, cultural, environment dynamics impacting and inspiring nations facing change, including confronting challenge? Why? Because she has 2 decades of global professional working and living experience. Anita began her professional career on a blue-chip corporate lab, working in a number of Fortune 500 companies before advancing to the leadership positions. Her exceptional skills is in assisting clients in defining critical principles and practices to individual and collective impact, has earned her the trust needed to work directly with leadership teams to unlock higher levels of performance. Increasingly, Anita is called out to be the bridge between government and business, assisting leaders to address conflict and find common ground to enable advancement of common agendas, breaking through areas of contrast and or conflict to realize shared aspirations. We're delighted to receive you in Sheikh Ibrahim. On behalf of Sheikh Ibrahim Center, on behalf of everybody here, you're welcome. And not easy to present somebody who's presenting everywhere at the conference, at the national conferences and the national meetings. Others, I tried to be the presenter, and welcome. You're welcome. The story.
Your Excellency, Sheikh Hamid, beautiful Lama and Walid Rifai, my new extended Bahraini family, all protocols observed. Thank you very much for having me here. Assalamu alaikum. I'm deeply, deeply grateful to be here, and admittedly, I have a habit of I walk and I talk. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very touched, because I must say that there are some people in the world to whom, when they ask you to come and visit, and then they ask again, and then they ask again. Someone like Her Excellency Sheikh Hamid, the only answer to that invitation is yes, ma'am. And I must say I'm deeply grateful. It is so beautiful to be here. We had a conversation last night at dinner about where we are born versus where we feel most at home. And as much as I'm born in Canada, my family's from India, I live in Europe, I've always loved the Middle East. I've always had a feeling of there's something here that's very special. So I'm very touched to be here. There's no question that Bahrain is a magnificent boutique version of the Middle East. And as Esmeralda, when she took me around today, which was just spectacular, I said to her, I get the impression that Bahrain is a place that doesn't just know what it wants, it knows what it doesn't want. And often that is more important than anything else. And I share this with you because it's very much linked to what I want to speak about today. Before I do, however, go into my official presentation, I'd like to extend official regards from my current Secretary General, Zura Pololikashvili, who knows that I'm here. He has seen my Mendi done, so he knows that I have my Bahrainian imprint on me. And he sends his best regards, and to you particularly, Your Excellency, knowing that you are one of our ambassadors from 2017, and you are a true champion of what it is that makes tourism work. Because as myself and our Secretary General believe, we don't have tourism without culture. So I'm not here to talk to you today about culture and tourism. I'm actually going to speak to you today about why tourism needs you. And that is something very close to my heart, and I must say that my former Secretary General is one of the people in my entire career who gave me permission and license to get very emotional about what I do. So for that reason, I talk a lot with my hands. I'm going to move along, but I am conscious this evening, so we will move quickly, but as comfortable as you are. Again, thank you. We live in a time of travel. we live in a time of We live in a time of incredible movement, and interestingly, our world needs travel. Sadly, we are seeing today, right now, how badly our world needs it, because travel is being stopped. And someone suddenly sneezing or coughing is making other people around them nervous. We all know about the coronavirus, we all know what's happening, and as a result, millions of people are literally being grounded. As a result, manufacturing is stopping, travel is stopping, growth is stopping. Apparently the stock markets today in New York have gone completely crazy because of fears of the virus having hit Italy. Never before have we lived in a world where something happening halfway across the world matters. It's really quite remarkable because we are living in a time of travel. It has become a part of who we are, and it has become one of our greatest blessings. What I find fantastic is the fact that this young generation, it knows now that travel is possible. It knows now that if it wants to see the world, it can either go to the internet or it can go to the airport. And in addition to the fact that travel is allowing people to discover the world, most importantly, we discover who we are through our travels. Because when we're out in the world, our identity comes through, our values come through, our belief system comes through, and most importantly, our culture comes through. When I travel around the world, I have a Canadian passport, and that's great. It's a fantastic passport because it's covered in Teflon. But whenever I say anything, when I speak, I regard my career, I always say, I'm an Indian daughter. No matter what I am and where I was born, my roots are from India. My DNA is from India. My connection is there, which is why I think the connection to the Middle East is so strong. Because the Middle East and Asia are two parts of the world that have codes. You are not from a society that's an I society. It's a we society. And that's why this part of the world is so magic. And that's why the respect, and Esmeralda and I were talking about this today, we live in a generation where the younger generations are choosing whether or not to be respectful. When is that a choice? And sadly, it's coming through very much through tourism, which is why I, with my heels, dig down into the sand to say, you don't want tourism at any cost. It should never cost you who you are and what you believe in. There are 1.4 billion international travelers every single year. That should have been growing 4 to 5% this year. As we know, that's not going to happen. The impact that that's going to have is profound because there are over 163 million people working in tourism. And when the hotels empty and the restaurants stop, people can't get paid. They can't go home and feed their children. That's what scares me about what's happening right now. We were talking last night at dinner about all the fears of the coronavirus. My fear is not the virus. The medical world will take care of that. We'll figure it out. We as a human race will survive. What scares me more is that the largest traveling population in the world, the Chinese, 190 million Chinese tourists traveled last year. Right now, an entire nation knows that people are scared of them, that people don't want them visiting, that if I'm sitting on a subway and I'm Chinese, I know someone's not going to sit beside me, even though the person who just got on the train might have just come back from Hong Kong on business. That's really sad, because more than the panic is the prejudice. That is going to be the long-term effect. And that's why the best thing we can do to the Chinese people right now is show compassion. If we're nervous about fear and health, everyone is. The Chinese people are victims of what is happening. They did not want this to happen, and they do not want to be judged for it. So I'm a firm believer that our world has come closer together geographically. We need to come closer together emotionally. 10 million flights were traveling every single day up until technically the end of December. Because ultimately, as I said, our world needs travel. Our world needs it for so many reasons. Interestingly, and this is what I find really exciting about why travel has grown, it's because I can. It has become such a badge of honor. Those young girls living in Shanghai, they could have gone across to Hong Kong to buy their new Louis Vuitton handbag and then fly back home and show it off. Instead, they're flying all the way to London to stand in Harrods, to go to Louis Vuitton, so they can tell people, I was there. The ability to be there is incredible. my being here. Now, we could have done a webinar technically, but there's something about being able to be here, because I don't want to send Her Excellency a WhatsApp message saying, I thank you with all my heart. I want to give her a hug to show her that. That's why we need travel, because technology can never remove the touch. We are human beings. Technology is there to help facilitate things, not to make the connections where they really matter. But that's important. Why does travel and tourism really matter? And this is where my former Secretary General and I, he used to give me trouble because I would make this comment and he would go, no, you need to use the word only. My argument is, tourism is not about the tourists. And that's when he said, no, it's not only about the tourists. Yes, sir, it's not only about the tourists. Tourism is not about the tourists. So, at this point, I usually, as an example, I have to pick one victim out of the audience to give a bit of a representation. And I think the victim knows who he's going to be. So, if I can ask, Walid. Walid is going to be traveling to pick a country.
Germany.
You're going to Germany. Fabulous. Walid is going to Germany. He takes his passport, he takes his credit card, he gets a list of what Lama wants to bring back, all the beautiful gifts because he's traveling again, gets his credit card ready, and he goes to Germany. Checks into the hotel, has a rest, goes down, he wants to have breakfast. So he goes into the restaurant and they say, good day, Dr. Rifa, Mr. Rifa, Ambassador Rifa, we welcome you. Please will you have a seat? He gets escorted to the table. So, now he's doing this. He's gone to the entry of the restaurant and he's met one person. The person who welcomes him and takes him to his seat. He then sits down and another person comes to the table and says, what would you like to drink? And he said he would like water. He would like some water. Fantastic. Mr. Rifa's water comes by the same person. She hands him a menu and she says, sir, what would you like for your breakfast? And he says, I will have an egg. I'm going to answer for you because I need you to give me the right answer for this. I will have an egg. Fabulous. How do you want your egg? I would like my egg. Omelette. Omelette. Brilliant. He's going to have an omelette. So, 3 people he's met so far. The person who takes the order takes it back to the kitchen where there is standing someone who's taking all the orders in. And he learns, Mr. Rifa would like an omelette. Fantastic. That's the 4th person. The man who takes the order gives the order back to the chef. 5th person. The chef cracks the eggs. Where do the eggs come from? The storeroom. Someone has to bring the eggs from the storeroom to the chef to crack the eggs for the omelette. 7th person. He then goes from there, the storeroom. Who put the eggs in the storeroom? The delivery man. The delivery man got the eggs from the farm, someone who loaded the eggs onto the truck. The person who loaded the eggs on the truck got the eggs from where? The person who went and got the eggs. How many people are between, do I call you Dr. Ambassador, Mr.
Walid.
How many people are between Walid's omelette and the chicken? 9. Exactly. 10, well, 11 technically if you count the chicken as a person. But there are 10 people between that order for an egg and the chicken. That is the magic of our industry. And I always say, that's why I say it's not about the tourists. Our industry is about the egg. That is the power of our industry. Because for every single time you go to a restaurant, think of the number of people that are affected. Which is why I say, if we think of what's happening now around the world, think of the number of people that are affected. So if Walid says, I had a trip to Germany, I hear that there's an outbreak, I don't think I'm going to go to Germany. Right now, we're all terrified that ITB is going to be cancelled next week. It's the largest global tourism trade fair in the world. We are so terrified it's going to be cancelled. Because my worry is we are then institutionalizing the shutting down. But if Walid says, I'm sorry, Her Excellency Sheikh Ahmad said, you're not going to Germany, you cannot have that omelette, he's going to stay home. How many people are going to be let off of work? That's what we always need to be conscious of. Because technically, 1 in 10 people worldwide work in tourism. 1 in 10 people in the world. And that's direct. If you think about it going forward, it's 10% of GDP, 319 jobs, 1 in 10, as I said, around the world. That is remarkable. Those are the statistics of our jobs. And that's why tourism matters economically. More importantly, when someone has a job, they have hope. They have a reason to get up in the morning because they know that they and their families are going to be fine. We need tourism, but tourism needs culture. Because it's through tourism that we are able to allow people to get closer to the people around the world they want to discover. We are the only industry in the world where complete strangers take their passports, their money, their holiday time, and their ambitions to go to learn about someone different. And in today's day and age, where more walls are being built than bridges, we need tourism. Because that's why we say tourism is an industry that genuinely generates peace. Why? Because it generates understanding. With understanding comes respect. With respect comes a sense of, but we're all the same. We all have the same values. We all want a better tomorrow. Which means when we travel halfway across the world and we meet people, I having met Esmeralda through email for the last few months, now I know her. She's a person to me. She's a hug to me. That means that I care that she's okay. That's why we need our industry. It's also one of the only industries that keeps natural cultures and natural ways of livelihood alive, which is brilliant. If we didn't have that, I always say, would anyone care about the Zulu beads? Would anyone care about the Aboriginal artists? They wouldn't if we didn't have tourism. But what are all these bases of caring? It's all based in culture. And again, if we look at this, and I look at my Mendi, how did this suddenly become popular around the world? No one knew about Mendi and henna before. It was always in the Middle East, it was always in Asia. And suddenly now, all these girls in the US and Canada and Europe are walking around and they're showing off their henna. Now, I, as an Indian daughter, think, it's not henna, it's Mendi. You can call it what you want, but it's beautiful. How did they discover that? They discovered it through traveling. That, to me, is one of the most beautiful examples of literally another place's culture becoming a part of you. This I'm going to carry with me for as long as it's on me. What are people going to ask? What's on your hands? It's my Mendi. Where is it from? It's from Bahrain. Why were you there? It starts that conversation. The beauty about culture is the basis for questions. And the more questions we ask one another, the more we learn, the more we care. It's a basic dynamic. If we look at it as well, one of the beauties of our industry is that it also teaches about protection. We have become an industry where people are saying, enough now. We don't want to be riding with the elephants. We don't want to go gorilla trekking unless we know that the communities around are being able to help it. And importantly, and this has come up in the last 5 years, this is an industry that is now taking a stand on protecting children. We will not become an industry where if people use us to play, that's fine. But make sure that your play is ethical. So it's fantastic to see the industry saying, if we're on the front line of seeing people, we're going to make sure that those people are safe and that their little ones are protected. And that is exactly why the UNWTO has been put into the engineering of the UN Sustainable Development Goals for the first time ever. Technically, we are in 3 goals. We're called out in 8, 12, and 14. But what we're finding is that all of these goals, all of these SDGs interplay. Because if we look at them, there's no way that tourism can't help eliminate poverty. It can't not manage zero hunger. It can't not be a vehicle for good health, quality education, gender equality, all the way through. Because everything we do is symbiotic. Everything works together. Because when someone is doing well, the whole ecosystem of humanity gets better and it gets stronger. So we're very blessed to be in that position. But what I always say is really important about tourism, it's not about the value of tourism. It's not about 9% of GDP, the billions of dollars it generates every day. It's not the value of tourism that matters. It's the values of tourism that matter. That, to me, is what makes my work an absolute blessing and vocation. This is why I love my job. Because ultimately, we are an industry that says, stop. We are not doing this just for the money. We are not doing this just for the jobs. People don't want work. If I look at Her Excellency Sheikh Ahmad, I look at her and I look at her as such an incredible leader of what our industry stands for. She's not doing it with a number in her mind. She's doing it with a heartbeat that's getting stronger. That's the number that matters. Why do we all love her and follow her wherever she goes? Because that passion for what she does is infectious. And we we do not have the ability to say no to her. That's glorious, because that is the epitome of when you love what you're doing, you genuinely do not work a day in your life. The blessing of travel is understood. And I cannot help but say that it's increasingly understood because our world is spending so much time fighting. We're finding this is one of the only industries where people want to come together and, as I said earlier, simply get to know each other because they're curious, because they want to. I've known Lee for how many years now? Many, 6, 7 years. To meet Lama and actually spend time with her this time, it brings it to life. It's magnificent, and it's just such a joy in thinking that's the blessing of doing what we do and travel itself. What we also know very much is that, as I said, we do not have tourism without culture. Because importantly, over and over, tourists are telling us they are going to a place and they are loving it because of its people. People might often say, well, why are you going to India, the Taj Mahal? Why are you going to Australia? Because of the kangaroos in the Opera House. When you come back from your holiday, what did you love most about where you went? I love the people. What did you enjoy most? I enjoyed the people. Why are you going back? It's because of the people. What is it about the people that made that experience so magnificent? It was their culture and how they lived it. That is the magnet that's bringing us together. When we look at how we actually express culture from the point of view of the UNWTO, it's arts and architecture, historical and cultural heritage, culinary heritage. It's incredible how gastronomy and foodie tourism has become so important. Literature, music, creative industries. And what's fascinating, if you look at the center, you've been living that and delivering that for 18 years now? That is spectacular. So you're actually ahead of the curve in terms of understanding culture is not about bricks. Culture is not about ruins. Culture is not about the inanimate things. It's the animate things that have heartbeats that bring it all to life and bringing it through. What we're also seeing, and I've got some very recent stats here from CNN, which I'm blessed to have as a client, when they ask travelers, and this is as recent as January this year, the motivation of all travelers, interestingly, 5 years ago it would have been, we travel for culture. That's been broken up now. Sports events, which technically are part of culture, mindfulness and spiritual retreats, arts and culture, concerts and theater, cultural events and festivals, that is 20, 40, 60, 76%. It's almost 3/4. People are traveling to do things with a country, and the people that they are doing it with are showing it how it is as part of their lifestyle. That is spectacular. Because the other stuff, it's great, but that's not what makes the human connection. That's not why people travel. It is ultimately about culture. But this is where the presentation takes a twist. And this is where I start getting very cross about my industry. Reason being, we're seeing that the whole issue of over-tourism has overtaken our industry. There are places around the world we all know. Barcelona, Venice, the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal, so many places that have so many tourists. The locals are saying, we don't want you anymore. We don't want the jobs. We don't want the money. This is what you're going to take away from us. And that's been a really interesting situation because tourists are very rightly saying, no, not tourism at any cost. What's happening? They're feeling this sense of who we are is being taken away. Because you're making us angry, you're making it hard to move around. That's not okay. And that's where the word over-tourism came in. But I struggle with that word because if we use the word over-tourism, on one hand we're saying tourism is this fantastic industry, it's hiring all these people, it's doing all these great things, but no, don't go there. Don't go there. And no, don't go there, we don't want you. It's not over-tourism, it's overcrowding. The fundamental problem is overcrowding. When you have a ship showing up in Vienna with 4,500 passengers, and all of them have eaten their breakfast on the ship, they've had their omelet, the eggs are all consumed, and all they're going to do is spend the day in Venice and eat ice cream, go to the monuments, and hopefully buy something. 4,500 people pouring onto the streets of Venice. What does that do to the Venetians? It gets them angry. And quite honestly, they should be, because that is their home. The problem we have with tourism right now is not over-tourism, it's overcrowding. What is the problem with overcrowding? It's two things. It's bad management, no question about it. We need to how many ships show up at what time and how we teach tourists to manage it. But even more importantly than bad management, it's bad manners. Why do we live in an era where just because I have a passport, I have a credit card, and I have a cell phone, that I can walk into your house and not knock? What makes that okay? And that's what I find really interesting about tourism, because now, for all of the travel that's taking place, it's cultures in countries that are saying, this tourism thing, we don't want you anymore. And quite honestly, I think that's right. I get very nervous by what's happening. The pendulum swung to the other side, and these millions and billions of tourists are showing up and taking over. That's not okay. Because ultimately, when it comes to the strategy about good tourism, it's the strategy our parents taught us when we were this big. Mind your manners. You have to know to knock on the door. You have to know to check if you keep your shoes on, if you cover your shoulders. Simple things. And this is where I love how the industry is now evolved. Because ultimately, who's teaching us how to get the industry right? It's culture. And I'm going to show you an exquisite example of that. I'm going to take you across now to Cambodia. Angkor Wat, I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. About 4 or 5 years ago in Angkor Wat, someone went up and they wanted to take a selfie. They took their cell phone, it was I think either sunrise or sundown, and they decided they were going to project the full moon from the top of Angkor Wat. And so they went naked. And they took photographs and they posted them. And the Cambodian government was furious. Angkor Wat is not there for posing. Angkor Wat is not there for selfies, and surely Angkor Wat is not there for nudity. So the Cambodian government, UNESCO, and the UNWTO came together, and they put together a fantastic initiative, which basically said, if you want us there, if you want to be there, we want you there, but we want you there in a way that respects us and our culture. A big problem with Angkor Wat as well is they have so many travelers that from sunrise to sunset, it's very crowded. So the government in Cambodia made them a deal. It said, if you want to get a little bit more time in Angkor Wat, we're going to open up the gates an hour early, and we're going to keep them open an hour late. But these are the conditions. And they put tourism rules in place. And it was brilliant. Let's hope the volume works on this. There we go.
For the preservation and sustainable development of Congo, our sacred wildlife site, it is our duty to respect the code of conduct. These rules are made in order to prevent negative impacts on our children, our environment, and our culture.
You have to get your little license, the permit that allows you to go to different areas. When you get that, they give you this entire list. So it's very clear what the conditions of entry are. It's assumed that everyone who has it has read through it and goes on. So everyone is very clear. The beauty is when you actually go to Angkor Wat now, you have tourists watching other tourists. And it's lovely to see when someone will just say, you'll be into the inner sanctum of one of the temples, and you'll have someone come up and say, no, please, there are no photographs here. That's magic. Because interestingly, again, the pendulum is swinging, because tourists are starting to feel bad for the way they are being looked at, because not all of them are doing the damage. So what are travelers seeking? They're wanting to manage the damage that's being done, minimize the negative impacts that can come through by the tourism itself, generating the economic benefits, making people in a local community feel proud of their home, not that they're losing their home. That is absolutely sensational, and it's a fundamental shift that's taking place. And that's why I really do believe that with all of the travelers that are out there, they have become the greatest champions and advocates of culture, because that's why they're traveling. And they don't want to see other people taking that away, and they certainly don't want to be associated with them and being seen as the tourists and done in a way that's actually quite derogatory. So it's quite special how it's actually turned out. And what we're seeing now is that, as our Secretary General said, culture is one of the drivers of tourism growth. We don't have an industry without you. It's as simple as that. So protecting cultural heritage and promoting tourism for sustainable development are part of the same equation. They're two hands that clap, because ultimately we're silent without each other. Now this photograph is not of my Secretary General. This was taken about 2 weeks ago in Alula, in a tiny little oasis in Saudi Arabia on a project I'm working on. And myself and this gentleman, his name is Sir George. He's the creator of Canary Wharf. Spectacular man, and he's of Romanian descent. He's been knighted in the UK and Romania, brilliant. We were being taken around to look at the development of Alula as an entire footprint. It's a massive plot of 22,000 square kilometers, former Nedative kingdom, beautiful. But my argument is that Alula is not about the rocks. There are 66,000 Bedouin that live there. This was my 6th trip to Alula. And one of the people who was in charge of development said she wanted to take us around to see some of the new areas where the new staff quarters were going to be, the school was going to be, and she wanted to take us into an oasis. So we're driving back, we're all late. Being late was important. We had to be back for our board meeting, so I think about 11:30. It's 11:10, we're running late. She's very conscious of with Sir George, and she says, I just want to go into this oasis quickly. Dirt road in the middle of the little Alula town. You couldn't tell from the outside. She opens this wooden door and she walks us through, and it was oasis in the most heart-lifting way. The temperature dropped 10 to 15 degrees. We're in this magnificent garden of all these palm trees. And I'm walking in and I see this young girl, and I asked her, I said, can I take your picture? And she was great. So she walks us, and then the next thing I know, she physically takes my hand. And she starts walking me to the back of the oasis where they're growing rocket and they have radishes, these beautiful gardens. She takes us then back and she starts opening up these blood oranges, these exquisite red oranges. And she's opening up and she's peeling it. Now take a look at one little element here. Look how close they are. She's feeding this foreigner that she's never met before. We're gone there for the last 5 to 6 times. We're on this mega project that's putting billions into the environment for the development of tourism. And this moment melted our hearts. And suddenly, so myself, Sir George, the woman who was there, none of us cared about the time. We must have spent half an hour in there. She opened up some oranges for us. Her parents were just behind, so they're sitting watching this. They're offering us tea. We're walking around this spectacular oasis. And we finally had to leave. I called back. We said goodbye. We took a lovely photograph of her, myself, and Sir George. I was in my abaya, which I was saying I love wearing an abaya. We're leaving, and I said to Sir George, I said, that is the richest experience we've had out of this entire visit, the entire time. There was an intimacy and an honesty there that was exquisite. Why was it? Because culture is not about the animate, it's the inanimate. absolutely precious. And what I loved, all the things, if you look at the Western world and how it looks at the Middle East and the stereotypes and the assumptions, here's this exquisite exchange going on, so humbling for all of us. And I went back and I posted on Twitter and on my official accounts, this is why we need travel. These are the moments that make travel matter. She gave us the greatest gift of our entire time. She shared with us her culture. Because going and looking at a monument, you can't feel it. And even Her Excellency, last night at dinner you made an interesting comment. You said I was going to have Esmeralda take me around today. She said, I want you to see Bahrain, I want you to feel it. I've never heard someone use the word feel like that before. Because that's exactly it. Seeing something is one thing. Seeing a photograph of you is one thing. Knowing your presence is a whole other. That's the glory of culture. Because it's the doorway to someone's heart. So ultimately, when we look at it, we put principles in place to say, it's no longer a minority interest. This is why we need to do what we do, and I'll leave the presentation for you. That is my hand, no more than a week ago, when I was in Mumbai. And I took an exquisite tour called Mumbai by Dawn. And at 4:45 in the morning, we got picked up. No one really wanted to be up at 4:45, but it was worth it. And we got taken to the fish market. We got taken to the vegetable market. We got to see the newspaper people packing up their newspapers to get on the bicycles. Then we ended up at the flower market. And for me as an Indian daughter, since I've been going to India in diapers, at the front of the taxis they always have the jasmine garland. So to me the smell of jasmine is the smell of India. And as we went into the market, this young man stopped me and he put the garland on my wrist. And my heart was fed for the entire day. It's those teeny tiny things. And what I find fascinating, culture doesn't cost. There's zero cost to it. Just getting to know people, me getting to know Her Excellency Sheikh Amai, and one thing that I love about her, I've had the pleasure of being with you on stage almost a dozen times, I'm quite sure. And the first time we were on stage together, Jane was sitting there with her absolute grace. And when it came to me asking as moderator for her to respond to a question, she apologized for me wanting to speak in Arabic. And I remember vividly, I thought your brother was going to actually fire me on that occasion. Because I said to her, I said, "Madam, forgive me, but no, what you said is incorrect. Never apologize for speaking your own tongue. That should never be the case, because that is the most immediate representation of culture. So every time you speak, I love it. Because you're showing people, culture's not about showing off the stuff we have. It's about celebrating the things we are. And what is the first impression we make? It's our language. That was spectacular. And that's why every time I have you on stage now, I'll let people know. When Her Excellency is going to speak, put on your translation packs, because she's going to speak in Arabic. Whether she was intending to or not, it's lovely. But that is magic. So these are the things, and this one I'll see, for all the money that's going into tourism, all we need to do is get a really big spotlight and put it on who we are. Because that is why people travel. No one travels to find a Starbucks and a McDonald's in the middle of a Medina. No one. If anything, that's what disappoints, because that's when we start selling our soul. So we look at it, and we look at where we are. I'm going to play you something as my final note, which should be reminiscent for some in the room. Her Excellency Sheikh Amai was one of our magnificent ambassadors for the International Year in 27. Now, the UN is notorious for creating long acronyms, and I think the longest acronym was in 2017, when the entire UN system, from UNESCO to WHO to UNWTO to UNICEF, every single UN entity celebrated the International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development. So the INYS, it was the longest acronym we've ever had. But it was a year in which we thought, we're going to show the world the value of tourism. But then the UNWTO said, but that's not enough. We're going to teach the world the values of tourism. Because the gift of tourism needs to be recognized of the responsibility of tourism. And it created this spectacular anthem for the year.
That anthem is still used to today. And one thing I love about it, it's a global invitation to say travel, enjoy, respect. That is exquisite because it ultimately, travel is one of the greatest blessings of our lives. Why? Because it allows me to meet Her Excellency and give her a hug rather than send her an email. And with that, I say shukran. And thank you for having me.
Thank you again for this incredible lustre. We might have some questions, a small number perhaps. We stopped, we had many numbers with your presentation, like 1.4 billion international travelers, 10 million flights per day. Amazing. 10 people to do the egg of Mr. Wakil as well. Had many numbers. I think we have some questions in Arabic or in English as you wish.
Hi. So you have combined the SDG, tourism and culture. In the light of your lecture, Ken, how would you explain Dubai phenomena, where more than 85% of the inhabitants are actually aliens and foreigners, so there is no culture for people to go. And yet, Dubai is so far for many years #1 tourist attraction.
It's an interesting one because the word culture is tricky. It's very much like we talk about the word brand. Culture happens by osmosis. So the culture of, if I were to ask people, how would you define Dubai in one word? How would you define Dubai? Huge buildings. Huge buildings. International. What else would we find? Money. Anything else?
Story of success.
Exactly. That is its culture. The culture of Dubai is energy, it's creativity, it's innovation, it's money, it's tall buildings. It is defining its culture through its creating all of that, through its putting all the money in, through being different. Interestingly, and Dubai is a great example, so thank you for that. What's happening is that in the UAE, Dubai is defining itself as modern, edgy, innovation, future city, which is why Abu Dhabi is saying, we are history, we are roots. So one culture becomes the opposite description for the other. What is Russell Hamer doing? They're saying, we're not either of those. We're going to be adventure, outdoor, nature. It's brilliant. So often one's culture can help the other define the anti-culture. But Dubai's culture exists. It happens because it's about human activity. The trick is being able to then, that's where destination branding comes in. How do you then take that and define that culture? So Malaysia, for instance, has as its brand Truly Asia. I'm an Asian. I have no idea what Truly Asia means. But the fact is they've stuck with that for 15 years. They've had the same music, so people are familiar with it. India is the same. India is a subcontinent. But the fact that they say it's incredible, they allow you to come and find your own incredible. That's the magic of it. So Dubai culture is Western. Dubai culture is technology, is innovation, is now World Expo. That is the culture. Culture happens naturally. We just need to make sure we shape it. And that's why I say with tourism, not tourism at any cost, where it starts to negatively impact the culture. Tourism done well makes the culture feel proud to celebrate itself. And which is why generation to generation it becomes more enduring. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Again, I thank you dearly. I'm incredibly grateful. Your Excellency, thank you. And to you and your team, thank you very much.
Thank you again for having accepted our invitation. See you soon, inshallah. شكرا. نلتقي بعد في قاعة محاضرة الشيخ زهير إن شاء الله في اليوم الثاني من بدء ربيع الثقافة مع الموسيقى اليابانية إن شاء الله. شكرا لحضوركم إلى اللقاء.